Thank you very much. Good morning to everybody and good afternoon to those who are joining from the Asian region. Let me thank FAIR first, uh, the Secretariat, for organizing this Zoom workshop, which is a very timely one. And also thank you very much, and I appreciate that you invited me to share my views with other friends, the member companies and non-member companies of FAIR who are participating. In these 15 minutes, I'm not going to talk more and more about the COVID, and everybody knows it, how it affected and how it spread and what's the situation and how we are facing the whole world, all industries, including the insurance and reinsurance. When we first heard about in 2019, December, the infected, this disease infected in China, none of us has thought it that this will spread like this and affect all of our lives. And for example, in addition to business, all of us have not met for the usual annual conferences where we shake hands and build up our relationship. I think the insurance industry and the insurance, all of us are missing that. So it's nice at least we have this Zoom technology to meet each other and share our views. None of us, I would say reinsurers and insurers, are not ready, particularly the general insurance side, for a pandemic. When this was first infected, the disease discovered in December, we thought it's like another epidemic like SARS or other Ebola or something like that, which we have faced. So we never thought it's going to be a global disease. It will affect all countries, millions of people. We never thought like that. But unfortunately, that's the ground situation. Life industry and health, they do have some exclusions. Even prior to this, they excluded the pandemic, the insurers, and also in the general policies. But in general insurance side, this was very uncommon exclusion. Pandemic claims raised due to an pandemic is a very uncommon exclusion. But soon we realized in last year, somewhere in the first quarter itself, this is going to affect the general insurance in a very big way. And the reinsurance worked out strategies and they recommend to include exclusions. And they said like, this will come in at the next renewal. So some companies, during their policies renewals, they included the recommended clauses, or for new policies, they start attaching the new exclusions. Then start the pressure from the social pressure and the regulatory pressure. Why are you going to do this? Insurance guys are always like that. If something happens, they don't want to pay for that. They exclude it. And this is, nobody thought this will go to this extent. So most of the markets, including Sri Lanka, the industry decided, okay, we will pay from our net accounts, or the reinsurers sometimes, because particularly health, the reinsurers has not excluded. So they start paying small amounts. Then towards the end of the year, everybody realized that this is not going to be a small impact on your industry. At the same time, on the underwriting side and also from your investment side, due to lockdowns, the downfall of economies, your investments were affected, all your activities were affected, and which has a direct impact on your solvency. So then start the renewal season last year. A lot of reinsurers are very firm, excluding this pandemic from non-life policies. Initially, we had issues, pressure from the BI policies, business interruption policy holders. When there was lockdowns, they started, okay, yeah, lockdown is beyond our control and the insurance should respond to it. But a lot of policies, it's very clear, it should be, a loss should be followed by a material damage claim on your material damage policy. But few extensions were given. One is the infectious disease exclusion, extension, which says if where an infection disease originates from your factory or your premises and your office is closed by the authorities, then there is the insurance has to respond. And most of this wording were not very, very clear because we have not taken such incident very seriously because we didn't have any experience because last pandemic was in 1820, 1821. So none of us have experience of that and none of us have statistics of that. And I don't think many people were insured at that time. So then started the dialogue between the regulators, the industries about this. Then the reinsurer said, no, this is not what we exactly wants to cover. Our intention was to cover something like this. Then a couple of court cases, UK and France, which was not very favorable to the insurers. So then the industry started thinking about what's going to happen, how we are going to face this situation. It's just started like that, but from BI policies, but this could be extended to other sections, like for example, employees' liability. I don't think any claims up to now. Somebody could say, I was infected because my employer couldn't take proper precautions. So then my family affected. So many things could come up. And liability, a commercial liability. Somebody walked into a bank and he said, I infected at this bank. They have not taken the proper precautions. There could be claims like that. So we realized that this is not going to be very good for the industry. Then most of us, because of the pressure from the reinsurers, we incorporated the relevant exclusion to our policies. At the same time, most of the insurance companies and even the markets, we started paying claims on ex gratia basis, probably on your account. On some insurers at the initial stage, they agreed, okay, even though the exclusion is there, particularly life, we will pay your claim, your recovery. So at this stage, the reinsurers were very serious, and particularly this season, they will definitely insist you to incorporate these clauses into your policies. Otherwise, they will not pay the reinsurance recovery. So basically, you have to take the claim onto your net account. And in addition to that, due to the economic downfall in many economies, the insurance companies couldn't achieve the EPIs of their policies. That has affected. But the good side is, most of us has less motor claims because there was pandemic, there was this lockdowns. So I think everybody has made profits in spite of the lack of the drop in business because certain classes, the claims were very much restricted. And even though in Sri Lanka, even though we paid COVID claims, hospitalization, we saw the other hospitalization claims, cost has come down because people started reluctant to go to hospital unless it's very, very serious. For the slightest thing, they used to go to hospital if you have insurance policy. But during the period, it was turned around, and unless it's very serious thing, you will not walk into a hospital because you are scared, could be affected. But thanks to the technical and medical development, the vaccination has come out, and so many vaccination has come out, and a lot of I think this may be the fastest developed vaccine in the world in the history. So many vaccinations developed in so many countries, and thanks to that, the people start taking vaccination. Most of us could come back to the operations, and also our clients would come back to the operations. So the next question is, the reinsurers, if they want to include this, they will ask probably an additional premium. Will the clients, with this economic downfall all over the world, are they in position to pay some additional premium? They may ask a discount. Will they in a position to pay additional premium? Or else, the insurance industry is in a situation to pay. If the insurance says, okay, we'll cover, but if there's a claim due to COVID, you have to increase your retention. I'm just talking very loudly. So, are we ready for that? To increase our retentions or our for the pandemic claims. The other option is to continue. Okay, we will go ahead with the exclusion in the insurance policies, but still we'll continue to pay claims on our net account. So some big companies could decide that, and also the industries could agree. Okay, we will still pay, but we will on our account. So how long you could do it? Can we estimate what's the claims coming in next year? Can we estimate a day this will be exit? I'm sure none of us are not in a position to do that. And the actuaries are doing fantastic jobs all this time, but the situation, can anybody, medical professions, take actuaries, can they predict what's going to happen next year? So I think this is going to be the major challenge for all of us. The different markets have responded to in a different way. Say, for example, in Sri Lanka, initially the government said no private hospital can entertain a COVID patients. They have to go to the government hospitals or the government quarantine centers, which are free. Superb. So all of us were happy. Okay, they are not coming to the government hospital. But sooner we saw the capacity of the government hospital was not enough to cater all the COVID patients. So then what happened? There was no tourism. The hotels were idling. The private hospitals sign up with hotels, okay, to treat them as COVID centers, the recovery centers, the intermediary recovery centers. So where the client has to pay huge amounts of money, and when they have a policy, so we'll have to reimburse that amount because we agreed and we openly said, okay, we are continuing with paying COVID claims. So these are some of these issues which we'll have to face. In my opinion, the market agreements, the market should get together and put pressure on the other pressure groups. Now the government starting pressurizing you, health authorities starting pressurizing you, the regulators starting pressurizing you. So if you try to face this alone as a company, that might not be a good thing.
Dr. Jagat, if you allow me, if you can conclude on 2 minutes, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
So we'll have to be together. We'll have to present cases to the reinsurers together. As an industry, we have to challenge the regulator or tell the regulator jointly what we are going to do. So otherwise, the industry will have a very serious implications in next couple of years. So in that way, and most of us will have to be in line with what is proposed by reinsurers. That's my view. And that's how we should go forward. And together, the industry take decisions rather than individual companies, and the reinsurers may have to negotiate certain things. But I'm 100% sure the total elimination of the exclusion is very, very unlikely at this stage. Thank you very much.